right, let's go over why I consider this a A plus setup. I expected that pullback. Now we did just hit this demand zone, so I did expect some type of reaction off this demand zone. This is the 1 minute chart. You can see how the 5 minute chart is looking. Right, so we got a high, we got a swing low, we got a high up here, right? So this is the last low before this 5 minute. This is the 5 minute swing high, swing low. High, low. So it goes high, high, low, high. So this is where we at. This is the high and this is low. We playing in this area. Now we go down to the 1 minute. We break this down to the 1 minute. So here's what the 1 minute looked like. After we were making high highs and high lows. All right, we were making high highs and high lows. Then down to that low. Got to this high. But then we dropped and made a low. Right? So from this high to this low. So right now we're currently downtrending. And on this, we started to make high highs and high lows. This is the 1 minute chart. All right, we got a high, we got a low, we got another high. As you can see, look how it's reacting. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful trade. Look at that. Beautiful. About to hit TP. This is why I consider this a plus trade in real time. All right, in real time. Boom, TP hit. Perfect. Beautiful. So as I was explaining why that was a beautiful trade, simply because after our trade supply and demand, we hit a supply zone up here. Right, we hit a supply zone up here. This is a 1 minute supply zone. We hit a 1 minute supply zone. I waited until we broke this higher low. Once we broke, that was a beautiful trade. Once we broke this higher low right here, not with a wick down, but with a displacement candle right here. We broke a high low. Then I waited for the pullback. We already at the supply zone. That's one confluence. We downtrending. All we did a pullback. This is a pullback into the supply zone. I waited for confirmation. Once we hit the supply zone, I didn't get in immediately. That's aggressive if you get in right there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I waited until we hit this supply zone. I'm sorry, I waited till we broke this higher low. So now we broke structure with this displacement candle. Right, with this displacement candle. I waited for the pullback. We pulled back up. And then this is where I entered. I entered right here. So, to recap, we was downtrending. I waited for the pullback into the supply zone. I didn't get in immediately. Sometimes you can on the first, call it the first touch. Sometimes you can get in immediately. But what I did, I waited for we broke structure. So I got in what we call a touch structure. I waited to not only we touched the zone, but also waited till we confirmed that we was heading back down. Once we confirmed with this displacement candle going down, we broke this higher low. I waited for the pullback. I got in on the pullback. Once I got in on the pullback, we were good. Now, we did have a demand zone right here. I expected that. And what happened? We hit right back down drastically. That's an A plus setup. Perfect. All I do is trade supply and demand with market structure.